Hey everybody, welcome back to Wiki Sports. This is at the buzzer. I'm joined as always by Jack Tiernan. Jack, how you doing?
Brian, good. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And Ryan Flynn. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Brian. Thanks for asking.
I think it's good. First three-person panel of the new year. Introduced one at a time instead of at the same time, like I did a bunch last year. We're moving up,
Good.
on positive momentum. Hopefully, like the Celtics. Last time we talked, I think we recorded Ryan the night of the Heat and Celtics game.
Mhm.
That ended up being a 143-110 bit of a blowout there. I don't know if you want to get us started. What'd you see in that one, Ryan?
So I think I told you I didn't catch much of that game because I missed the first half, and then I came in and they were already up by a bunch. But yeah, from what I saw, they just took control of the game. It
Yeah, no, that's quite all right. Jack, what did you watch the game, the whole one?
I did. I did
Okay,
see that one.
so I should have checked before. It's all good.
Yeah, I was
no,
like, no,
you're good.
We'll come back to Ryan
definitely
for more
not.
of the in-depth Pelicans take because I know
Yeah,
you.
that I can do. Yeah.
But yeah, what did you see in that one? Against a thorn in the side of the Celtics, our rival, the Heat. Uh, we laid a beat down on them. What worked, what didn't, what was going on there?
I mean, it was a beatdown, which is fun because that was definitely, and I think you heard Scal probably hammer this home a million times, but he talked about, this is a revenge game for us, right? Like we lost them in the Eastern Conference Finals. We should have beat them. Like I think we all can agree that they are a good team. They're kind of scrappy, but it was because we just didn't have any fight. So coming back this year and saying, hey, look, like we've got a little bit of life left in us, that was nice to see. We had 7 starters score double-digit points that game. I remember that very well, which is pretty crazy. Like that's not something that happens every day, or not 7 starters. That's literally not possible. 7 players score double-digit points in that game. I liked, to be honest, that was an interesting game because we threw Luke Cornett in there instead of Kada, which I expected because that's a better body against Bam. At least in the paint, as like a post presence for the Heat have a lot of drivers. You think Jimmy Butler, you think Bam, obviously. Like those two guys are in the paint a lot for their scoring potential. So it's nice to see Cornette in there getting some run. And I thought that was, I'm looking at the stats now. He had 12 points, like that's nice to see. Lots of just the defense couldn't contain the Celtics, the Heat defense, which was the opposite issue that we had last year. So nice to see us pop off for 143. That's
Yeah.
can't complain.
Last time we talked, Ryan, it was right when Terry Rozier got traded, so we didn't get to hear your thoughts on that, Jack. Do you think that was a good trade for Miami? Do you think he fits there?
I think from a mentality standpoint, I think it's a great fit. I think it is an upgrade over Kyle Lowry for sure. Also, just because I hate Kyle Lowry, um, but I think he is a good. Ironically, the first jersey he wore as a member of the Heat was the Heat culture jerseys, which got absolutely blasted at the beginning of the year. But I think that's kind of what he fits. Like he's more of a culture piece. I don't think he played very well when I mean, granted, I know you can't judge it off the first like 10 games, I would say, in a Heat uniform or in any new team's uniform, frankly. But again, looking at his stats, it was 29 minutes, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 7 points, which is pretty rough, I would say. So, not great. He was really hot with Charlotte before he got traded, which is I think
Mhm.
why he got traded. I don't know, man. I feel like as a we all witnessed Scary Terry in his Celtics prime, so that was fun to watch. Um, he was on a bad team, frankly, so he was getting a lot of volume. It's going to be interesting to see how he adjusts to probably getting a lot less opportunity when it comes to shooting the ball. So,
Right.
I don't know. We'll
That's
see.
a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. Coming to the Heat there. Yeah, more playmakers. So, you know, Celtics are kind of riding a high, honestly, after that. I feel like, always good to beat a rival. Uh, then Clippers came to town. Porzingis didn't play, and I feel like that was a big part of this loss. But Ryan, I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, that was definitely part of it. I mean, our shooting percentages were terrible. Uh,
Yeah.
Also, yeah, it's just really there's not much for it. There's just some of those games they just don't go your way, and then they go really, really terribly. Um, the Clippers have been on a roll.
They're a
Harden.
good team. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when they're all playing, like they're all playing really well right now. Yeah, it is. I mean, was it a little worrying because it's like we just had that one against the Bucks? Was it like a week or
Yeah.
was it like 2 weeks ago? Not even. So like two blowouts
two,
like that against really good teams sucks. But also, I know it kind of seems like, yeah, we're losing against all the good teams, right? Like the Nuggets, the Bucks, the Clippers. We lost to the Timberwolves once. But I would actually argue that's a positive because, like, I don't feel like any of those teams would really have an up on us in a 7-game series, even if we did lose
Same.
one game. So, I mean, the fact that, last year we'd lose against horrible teams. This year we're losing tough matches.
The Magic, they beat us for the season, for
Yeah,
instance.
exactly. Like it is progress. Like, look at like the Nuggets game. Like, yeah, if we let a game get that close, like Jokic is, we just don't have an answer for Jokic, right? He's just
Most
better.
teams don't.
He's
Yeah,
just better.
right.
He's just better at winning right now. But we're not losing to horrible teams. So I think, yeah, I don't think it was a big deal. I wasn't too worried about it. It was discouraging.
Sure. Yeah, I don't, Jack. I don't know if you have that same take or you're in line with Celtics Reddit. It was like, doom. We're horrible. We're the worst team in the league.
I hate Celtics Reddit and Celtics Twitter for that matter.
Yeah.
The epitome of, I mean, they overreact so much. It drives me bonkers, but I get it at the same time. Like I have to pull myself out of that hole sometimes too.
Right.
I mean, if there's one team, I'll be honest, like I think you just said it too, Ryan. Like if the teams we lose to are the Clippers, the T-Wolves, and the Bucks,
Nuggets and
right?
the Bucks, yeah.
The Nuggets and the Bucks. Those are probably, including us, probably the top 5 teams in the NBA, you could argue. Like I feel like if I had to really think about it when it comes down to a 7-game series, those are probably the teams I would want to face the least if I'm anyone objectively in the league, right?
We're a little more vetted, yeah. Like the other teams right now are like what, the Thunder.
Yeah, good point. I think vetted is a great word because the Thunder obviously are elite, right? They're rock solid. I would add the Thunder into that group then, right? And we've lost to them too. So it's like, okay, if I have to pick teams that I don't want to play, it's that group of 6. So I'm not really that concerned because one, we're missing one of our key pieces, right? Probably our 3 option, who is, I mean, you talk about like a matchup nightmare. That's the guy. And also, and as we can say this again as Celtics fans, Daniel Tice isn't putting up 18 points the next 3, 4, 5 games we play against them. Frankly, like it's just not happening. Especially with KP, right? Like there's no shot that KP allows that. Frankly, I don't think that is. Yeah, it sucked. I don't like losing to the Clippers because I don't like that team, and by that I mean I don't like James Harden. But like that's what it comes down to. It's fine. I'm with Ryan on, okay, in a 7-game series, I still like our chances. Like it's fine.
Right. It's like, oh yeah, James Harden's on the Clippers now. Forgot about that.
Yeah. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And that was the case for the last like 3 years though. Like Philly.
Yeah, every time he
Brooklyn.
changes
Oh yeah,
team,
that's
it's
right.
like, oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that was obviously very disappointing, but rebound last night, great game last night.
So good.
Reminds me about why I love basketball so much watching that game. Ryan, how'd you feel against the Pelicans last night?
I mean, so the Pelicans are a really good young team. Zion quietly is having probably the most solid season of his career so far, unless I'd have to look back at I'd have to look back season by season. He's playmaking more. They have really good role players, and I mean they were just hitting their shots at first. Like right away, they got Herb Jones going. Trey Murphy is a huge deep threat. We've seen how good Zion is at just getting to the rim. And our shots weren't hitting at first, so yeah, it makes sense we got down. But ultimately, the Pelicans have a lot of potential, but they haven't figured it out entirely yet, I think. And a lot of that is like, Zion having been hurt. Then they have like 2 older guys that scored a pretty high volume.
Yeah.
and definitely there's a bit of struggle for usage. So they don't really have like a guy yet. I think it's got to be Zion for sure, but
Yeah.
I would argue that's not clear at the end of games yet. And because of, and luckily Derek White, he was pretty cold most of the game, but he got hot when it counted. I think I made the argument last night.
Brian, you got to do it. You got to just rip the Band-Aid off. How'd you feel about Tatum?
Oh, I was gonna say Derek
Oh,
White.
I thought that's what you were like.
All-Stars. I thought you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
Derek White over Dame Lillard for starting all.
Yeah,
the All-Star team.
Agreed.
Winning player.
Maybe a homer take.
No, yeah, definitely a homer take for sure.
Yeah.
Not if you're JJ Redick. I don't know.
No, I mean with Tatum, it's just.
Again, how did you feel about Tatum last night, Ryan? I know how you feel because we just talked about it, but tell the viewers how you felt.
No, it's just. Well, I'll say I don't usually do this. I happened to be betting on over for points for him, so I was especially focused on it. Over 27.5, he had 28 with. I mean, it was absurd, but it just kind of. So he had 14 at the half. I think I don't even know if he did score in the third. It was at the very end, and it was like 4 or 5 points. Again, just the way he can disappear. And he did have a big fourth quarter points wise, but at no point do I think anyone felt like he was taking over that game, right? It was more Derek White's quarter than anyone. And I mean, that's why the roster is constructed as it is, right? That's why you brought on these, guys like Drew Holiday and Porzingis. Like these are heavy hitters for third and fourth guys, right? And then behind them, you have Derek White. And like Al Horford makes arguably the most clutch plays on the team. The guy is just a born bred winner, like, is doing stuff most guys can't do at 28, at like 36 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think there's a reason for that. But again, I don't want to it gets a little redundant, but there is the question of if your team needs Jason Tatum to just absolutely take over at any given time. And right. He just has, I don't want to come at him like that because I don't think it's productive. And I mean, he's one of the best players in the world. And
humbly.
Yeah, I just really don't like coming down on guys like that. Like it just seems really ridiculous. But you do just kind of wonder, what he's going to do in those big moments.
Right. And, until he wins a ring, those questions are going to be there. I mean, until he wins a ring and is the best player on the court, right? Those questions are going to be there.
Well, again, with this team, I think that's we've seen it this year. There are guys that can back him up, and a lot of times he's going to score the most points, but he might not always make the winning plays like a lot of other stars would.
Yeah, no, agreed. So, I guess anything else about the Celtics before we get on out of here?
I do want to come back.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I know you
come back to something you just said, Brian. I don't know if you just saw the thing that Tatum said recently, but I think it was actually after the Pels game that he was like, there are going to be questions about me until I win a championship. And I get that. Like, I'm not ever going to be one of the best Celtics of all time until I win a championship. So the awareness is there. I think the motivation is there. What I will say, Ryan, I'm with you. I think it's crazy also when it comes to like when you have a comparison between the Celtics and the Pelicans, just of all teams, it feels like the Pels are just kind of a couple years back of the Celtics when it comes to competitiveness and like that development into a consistent contender, I would say. They find themselves in the play-in a lot. Zion obviously is a different animal literally than a lot of other players in the NBA. And like watching him finish at the rim is crazy. Like it's so insane to watch him because that was the first time I've watched him in a little bit.
Yeah.
He looks great. He looks really healthy.
His ball handling as well. It's just like
ball handling is so much better than what it was even 2-3 years ago. Like when granted he wasn't playing much then, all things considered. Now he looks like when he's under the rim, it is crazy. For me, I feel like for Tatum, he still needs to prove that though. Like back to that. Like I think you said like Zion should definitely be the guy. And I think I'm hoping that all these really good players, these talented, we really are crazy thick 1 through 6 on this team. Tatum really needs to prove that he is head and shoulders above those guys, and I think this postseason is going to either have to prove that, or it's going to be. I truly think it could be a very interesting offseason. That might be a little bit like alarmist, but I think.
No, I love it. And you know what? Celtics Reddit will love it. Love a alarmist take about this
Very
team.
true.
Well, other than that, Jack, where can they find you online? Anything you want to promote? The floor is yours.
Appreciate it, Brian. No, the best place to find me is on Twitter, and that's @Jack_Tiernan. So follow me there, especially for Celtics takes. I'll be watching the Pacers game tonight, which I hate playing against the Pacers. And also now Pascal Siakam Pacers. No, thank you. So follow me there. You can also follow me on Instagram @JackDiscGolf. Got a bunch of disc golf content coming up. Trying to post a lot more on there now. So hopefully we can follow through with that. So yeah, follow me there.
Awesome. Yes, go check those out. Ryan, anything you want to promote before we get out of here?
I got nothing, bro. Yeah, I was just gonna say Halliburton's out for the Pacers. If you didn't know that, that impacts. I'll be watching as well. We'll see how it goes.
Awesome. Well, Ryan doesn't want to promote anything. I certainly have plenty to promote from this channel. Check out our TikTok, All You Good Sports, trying to post a lot because the TikTok algorithm demands to be fed as much as possible or to get any traction on that site. So doing that over there, and then the main channel is We Get Everything, working on a new video about Pow World. So if you like that game, have thoughts about it and all the controversies and whatnot surrounding it.
Sorry, I've seen that game. I didn't even know it was that big of a thing.
Oh, it's huge. It's like the biggest game in the world right now.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's fun. Check out We Get Everything for all my thoughts there. And then our podcasting channel is, of course, Better Radio. Nothing happening right now that we cover, but soon Survivor will be back. We got that new Fallout TV show that we're going to do a podcast on there. So please check that out. And other than that, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thanks, Brian.
Pleasure as always, bro.